Use of Chinese ammunition in Ukraine confirmed by US.
This post received a score of 7,300, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
This is tricky as both Ukraine and Russia bought weapons from China before the war broke out. You have to remember that there was a lot of trade between all three countries for over a decade.
China has shipped ammunition globally for decades. They mass produce it like other global consumer goods. Many Eastern European nations use old Chinese ammo and have millions in stockades. It's likely that the Ukrainian military also have some, so it showing up in any conflict is not unlikely.
Chinese surplus ammo pretty much rules the Canadian shooting scene, at least on the low end. SKS, for example, is a popular gun here and most use old Chinese ammo.
Oh dear, does this mean China sent weapons to Russia? Or Russians bought them from someone who got them from China without direct support from the Chinese government?
Greater than, whether the ammunition was supplied by China remains unclear, the U.S. administration sources said, while adding Washington is poised to take action if it is verified Beijing made the shipments. Bold emphasis mine.
There is a lot of old Chinese AK ammunition around in countries other than China. It was actually a subplot of the movie, Lord of War? About arms dealers.
Russia is openly buying ammo from North Korea, who has a lot of Chinese supplies.
NK economy must be booming lol. It's doing somewhat better than it was. They have been a little more lenient with private enterprise, market in the country. So, that's helped the average Joe out a lot. Including with food.
Greater than, however, they did not disclose what kind of ammunition was found. According to this thread on Ukraine War Video Report, there were Chinese-made Type 63 60mm mortar shells previously found in Ukraine, but they were not Chinese-supplied. Instead they were likely supplied by North Korea. These Chinese-made Type 63 60mm mortar shells are no longer in production since the 80s, and mostly likely saw action in the Vietnam Wars.
I was wondering about when the ammunition was bought because it's not really China's fault if it was bought pre-2014, at least in regards to Ukraine. As it turns out, I'm off by 3 decades.
When I was in Iraq in 2004-2005 we were getting hit with Chinese rockets all the time. I'm pretty sure the Chinese weren't actively supplying the insurgents. I'm just saying, it doesn't necessarily mean the Chinese are actively supplying ammo to the Russians right now.
Those rockets were likely sold to Iraqi in the 1980s.
None of this is a surprise. China has been shipping out SKSs and AK-47 copies and ammo by the container loads for decades. Canada is full of it, for instance.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.